What's going on, guys? It's the GeoFox Gamer, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, morning, or night, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. But as the title describes, I'm going to be discussing police brutality and how I think it could possibly be fixed or how it could possibly be dealt with. Um, there is a thing known in the military as the military court and the UCMJ, or the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And I'll link the site where I'm getting all this information from down in the description below. But it's basically describing rights that military personnel and military officials have in the military court system, which is a court system separate from the court of any civilian, like any other civilian in the United States, and mostly involves military personnel as judge, jury, and executioner. And by executioner, I mean the people giving the sentencing. But I figured if that works so well for the military, and cops are very similar to the military in their actions as trying to be peacekeepers and assisting where there are any disturbances, but more domestic, there could be a police court system. Separate from the U.S. court, does not involve any civilians, and only involves police. Now, the judge is either an ex-cop or a cop with very good experience. The jury is police from districts that are not involved in the police brutality case that is being tried at the moment, and all of the evidence is being presented by a military defense or military prosecution lawyer or attorney. And what they have in the military court is some of the same rights as the Bill of Rights that are given to normal citizens, but like tuned towards a military setting, as in a free military defense attorney, a civilian defense attorney at the cost of the defendant. They have the right to plead the fifth. They don't have to answer any questions they do not feel they can answer without incriminating themselves. They have the Fourth Amendment right of no unwanted search or seizure without probable cause. And then they also have their right to have a fair trial, which is another Bill of Rights. And I feel like this would be a very good solution for cops because a lot of cops have that sense of justice, that sense of morale that would lead them to be more harsh towards cops, which may not be a good thing, may be a good thing depending on the situation, but citizens may lean towards being very lenient towards police because of them putting their life on the line every day, which can lead to bias, and which in certain cases deserves a bias, but in cases where there is no reason for police brutality, leniency is not something that is looked upon in a good light. But in a cop or a police specific court, they would be pushed towards the law because of their profession, and they would be very informed of the decisions they're making because they are the same profession of the one being tried. Only they're in the right, and the one being tried is supposedly in the wrong. And I feel like this would be the very best way of action because there are some people that are being very radical, saying that the police should be abolished entirely and citizens should protect themselves. And that would lead to some very bad circumstances that would lead to the reinstating of a military police, which could be very bad or very good depending on how it's done. But there are also people being very lenient, saying that police brutality is just a byproduct of heavy stress induced by the job of being a police officer, which is also true, but it cannot be ignored because citizens that aren't doing anything wrong are being attacked while others are being able to roam free because police are busy attacking innocent civilians. And not all police are doing this. I want to see it's very rare. I know people are going to say, oh, this has happened so much lately, but with the amount of times that police encounter civilians daily, it's a very rare, very small occurrence. And the fact that everyone goes on a witch hunt every time something like this happens, it can't be ignored that civilians should probably be separated from the case because they will always have a bias. Because these are certain cases that aren't going to be very discreet. Everyone's going to know about them. Everyone's going to have a bias towards or against them. And it's not going to be very well for the police if they didn't do anything, or well for the defendant if the police did something and got away with it. So that's my opinion for the police trial. I think that would be the best solution. It may be different from your best solution, but that's as far as I see it. Now, along the lines of stopping it, the best I can say is maybe doing a better background check on most police, seeing if they have any bad family history, anything that would lead them towards violent acts for no reason, something along those lines. Now, I also feel there should be a greater reward for good police. They're getting very underpaid, in my opinion, and the good cops that are helping people and not hurting people for the sake of hurting people should be rewarded better than the cops that are being tried as heroes because they hurt someone without reason. But that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to leave your opinion down in the comments below, I'll definitely read those. And just have a really good day, guys.